Hello guys, Jory here, and today I want to talk about baseball. I got King of Games in this current meta, and it feels crazy because this deck is complete ass right now. But I'm really happy for what I've achieved. I really love baseball, and I think the best way to share the love for this deck around is to show other people who love this deck that they can also play it during this meta. So as you can see, I'm doing something that is unconventional here, but if you see my Duel Links meta, it is not super unconventional. This is not the first time I play with 40 cards, and I think there are benefits and drawbacks. Like, I've bricked bajillion times playing this shit, but I've also gotten, like, really good hands. The point is that, like, you brick, but then you can unbrick with trade-in or heavy roller. I would say the biggest issue is that sometimes have to sacrifice the monsters you're gonna use for tribute fodder, and you can end up with a hand that has no tribute fodder. So now the main ways to play this deck, uh, I guess like the strengths of this deck are centered around Grand Slam that can revive home run from the graveyard, and it gets 2000 more attack, so it goes to 4k. Usually you have the feud spell, so it goes to 4400, and that's pretty big. But the Meteor Dragon Fusion, the vanilla one, if it has the equip spell, it gets to 400, I mean 4500, which is pretty big. So that's one of the reasons why I'm playing Shield and Sword as a tech, because you can't also remove it with uh when it's equipped. So now let's talk about the the small monsters, because I feel like they are the more relevant part. Um I'm playing one copy of Phoenix Dragon, and I've used its effect once. That's why it's a one of. It is a good card, but you don't want to draw it often, and like it's only good in very specific moments that you really need a Grand Slam from the graveyard. The the other card that you often don't see is Seonin. I don't think many people ever use this card in Duel Links. And the reason why it is good, especially in this 40 card version, is because of its effect that lets you add one level 8 fire or dark attribute warrior from your graveyard to your hand. So basically, the idea is that like you're probably gonna have dumped home run to the graveyard, and then you can grab it again, and you can either tribute it, which is an idea, or you can use trade in or heavy roller. It's especially good with trade in because you basically, with your skill, I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty sure most people are familiar with the skill that lets you add up to 2 cards that are either like the stadium, home run, or two normal monsters, or normal monsters. And then you send up to 2. And if you send 2, you can pierce with level 4 normal monsters. So usually when you want to do display, you're only gonna dump home run, then you add it back and use trade it. The reason you want to only dump one is because Seonin has a second part of his effect, which is your monsters with 19 or less defense cannot attack this turn. So none of your vanilla monsters are going to be able to attack and pierce. That's why when you use him, you either are going for like a null in, or you're trying to unbrick your hand. The other common tag is using Volcano Dragon. I mean, I know I know I said I was gonna talk about the small monsters, but like Phoenix Dragon is just like an add 1 and gain 300 life points. I mean, you gain 300 life points, and then you if you have a level 8 in your graveyard, you draw one, your level 8 is going to be home run batter. I mean, hitter. Um, and yeah, you need to have 10 or more cards in your deck to use its effect. So this part is kind of ass, but since you are always shuffling the monsters back to your deck with Grand Slam, it's not that bad. And I mean, in this version, you have a lot of cards, so it's hard to go out of steam. But yeah, the other attack we use here is Secret Order. This one is pretty well known, but like the skill allows you to use Volcano Dragon, and you basically can use this to make it pretty big. And obviously, since it's a fire monster and a dragon, but I mean the most important part is fire, it also gains 400 life points. So it goes to 3,400. Now, I feel like traps are really broken in this meta, so Dragon's Inferno is feels like a must. I mean, you don't need to use that one. You can also use that other limited 3 broken removal that shuffles your stuff. But the thing is, shuffling is not super ideal in this deck because you want to have stuff to shuffle with Grand Slam. So I think Dragon's Inferno is better because you can also just put any dragon monster face up on the field and you can explode their back row. And I would say the last thing is that I wish I could play it at 3, but also 3 feels too bricky. I mean, this deck is already bricky as hell, and you don't want to brick with removal, you know? Shooting Sword, I've already talked a bit about it, but it's really good just to help you OTK in general. And I won't lie, like, Pot of Greed is really good, and I really miss it. Like, Pot of Greed is also one of the ways for you to unbreak yourself. But the thing is, if I play Pot of Greed, I can't go over some monsters, I can't OTK sometimes, and this deck, because it's really slow, it needs to be able to OTK as often as it can. So Shooting Sword is actually a really good card. You use it the moment you're sure you're gonna OTK, first thing you do is use it. So now Trade-in and Heavy Roller are your draw spells. Just beware that like for you to draw 2 cards, you need to have a feud spell up. Only use it to draw 1 if you're really desperate. Last thing, Dragonic Pressure. This was already used during baseball meta, and obviously, like destroying your opponent's whole feud is amazing. You also get a tribute fodder, but the problem is that like it's a heavy investment card. Like you really want to have a Zubaba batter or like something to keep at your hand, and it is kind of hard to use it perfectly, but you can. And I think Act 2 is a good number, but Act 1 is also a good number. I would say the issue is that this card is 1,000% a brick. Like, this is not a brick that you go like, oh, okay, I have heavy roller, I might go like -1 and sure, but like here it is like, yeah, if you don't have it, it's a brick while set, and like if they destroy it and then you draw good, you are fucked. And if you don't need it and they don't destroy it, then you're stuck with something set that is useless. Now about the traps. I only have one of this card, I'm trying to get more, because this card is just so good. And in this meta where everyone OTKs you super easily, this just comes in handy. And again, baseball is really slow, so yeah. Now, compulsory, I feel like it is really good in the current meta, and that's why I'm also not using Pot of Greed. Because, one, you can remove any fusion, which is amazing. But also, it is those moments where your opponent tribute summon, wasting 2/1 monsters. I mean, with the current meta, tributing only 1 is also quite normal. But just the moment you make them have to waste one or two more cards, you're already kind of going even or even plussing in card advantage. This is a really good card, and it can't go out of one because, or else, like the stronger decks would be crazy. Uh, Now, when we're talking about like trap diversity, I know you're seeing this and being like, okay, bro, you're just playing every trap you have, right? Like you guys can see, I have 3 shiny shadies, and I don't really like shiny shady because it feels like a drawback to hold one card in your hand, and sometimes the card you're holding in your hand is really important and you don't want to waste it. Obviously, it means that like sometimes it is a good card, but like sometimes it is bad. So one is like enough. Slime doesn't feel super good because we have so many level 9 cards. But I mean, it is what it is. There are matchups that are level 8, and you're like, thank God. Like, there are fusions that are level 8. Like, this Dark Matter, I don't know in Spain, Sidra, but yeah, there is the one of the Seven's Road one, I think. Maybe I don't have it, but there is a Seven's Road one that is also level 8, so yeah, you're not super fucked, you know? This card is still pretty good. And last one, I feel like this is a very underrated card, but Executing Writing, sometimes they're saved for not having enough attack, you know? And there is a thing as well. If you used Grand Slam's effect, uh, you would be at 4,400, and losing 1,800 doesn't put you super low. Now, you might not be able to go over some monsters, but it's still pretty good. And sometimes you can go over important monsters that they just summoned. So I would say that's the idea of the cards here. You use these small dragons instead of the other gaga whatever vanillas because you want to use dragonic pressure. So for the deck building part, that's it. If you have any questions, ask in the comments. Now let's go to some replays. Hello guys, sorry I'm actually one day after the other part. I had to stop to do some university work. But yeah. Here I'm gonna show some replays that I thought were pretty cool that I saved. It's also on my Duel Links meta post. But yeah. So in this duel, you can see this hand is pretty bad, so I have to do the heavy roller sack and double set. I end up changing Rice because turns out Rice is not that good because most people are contact fusing when they special summon, which is exactly what's gonna happen here. Yeah. So at those moments, like him destroying Terrace is not even that bad. Problem with this deck is the OTK potential. Like you're always shitting your pants, worried that they might actually win. Like with Krizaur or like the other guy. So yeah, here I got a pretty good hand because I got a lot of tribute fodder, and this is important. Like I said, since we are using the dragon one, we always want to summon like normal summon a regular dragon because this way people are always like, oh, okay, he just summoned a regular dragon, and then you pop their back row. Like I've done this mistake before. Be careful when you're adding monsters with your skill. Like always get the fire dragon if you have the removal. Okay. Now here I used Seanin to, I mean Phoenix to add one, because Obviously, I had too many tributes, and I had one monster left if I wasn't gonna tribute. But this hand turned out to be perfect because I actually could do a double tribute. My graveyard had enough monsters, and with that, it is just OTK. So yeah, this is a pretty cool replay, and to be honest, like it is a game where I mean in which I got very lucky because my draw with heavy roller, and it was a high cost too because I actually lost one card because you have to send the one fire attribute monster and use it, so it's a -1. And I got pretty lucky. But overall, this replay shows that like with a perfect hand, you can actually get two 4,400 beaters. And yeah, like the queue was kind of weird. Get a lot of silvers. So some replays might not be like as good, but this one specifically, it's a good showcase of the Sword and Shield card, if I recall correctly. The starting hand is kind of weird, but honestly, you want to at least have one trading saved for next turn because you want to draw two. And the thing is, like, setting, like, you don't want to hold that card. Like, maybe if it was like a secret order, you would want to hold, but like, this one, not necessarily. Now, watch. Here, I send Dragonic Pressure. Why? Because he only has one monster. I already ran out of my Dragonic Pressures, but it doesn't really matter. Now, I'm sending it too because I just drew the stadium and I have a trading set. So I'm gonna draw effectively two more cards, which are pretty good. I mean, if we think of terms in terms of I mean, I guess you go neutral, right? But like I guess like you're drawing four more cards, whatever. Like this is pretty good. So, and I draw another heavy roller. And here I have enough tributes so I can do whatever. Now here, of course, I won't use sword and shield because I mean shield and sword because I like he has 25/25, and yeah. So here I disabled my shiny shady, and to be honest, like summoning the Phoenix Dragoon could be a mistake because Galactica is a high roller deck, right? Like if the fusion can dump a lot of monsters, you're fucked. But yeah, at the end of the day, like I got kind of lucky, and yeah. So now here is where Sword and Shield will shine, and I had to gamble again. So I said, like this deck can be kind of bricky. I have only one monster in my hand after this. I only have one monster, so I need to draw good, and then I draw the second batter. By the way, this is also the important. Like in this case, you could say like, oh, okay, it doesn't matter what you draw, and like if it is a batter or I mean a hitter, sorry, or a grand slam or even the captain. But the issue is that the captain you can't draw it with the skill, and sometimes you want to get the card from the skill. So yeah, home run hitter, a second one can be useful, especially if you're playing with 40 cards. And now I send one of my tribute ones because I wanna draw one, and I'm gonna send in the volcano dragoon because it's a smaller monster. And look, I really like this card, right? When you're but it's normal summons a 25 or higher attack monster. 7 monsters from field to graveyard, and you can place that monster on the bottom of the owner's deck. And like this card is super niche, but the thing is, it would have made me lose the game on the spot. So that's why, again, pay attention, draw the dragons to use the removal. And well, here I destroy one of their monsters, and I wouldn't have done as much damage. And well, here I kind of gambled because like if he had removal, it was over. So he can only attack with one monster, and I was praying that his fusion would be below 5k because as you guys can see, the multiplier is 300. So if it went over 5k, it was GG, and I got lucky. And my second luck as well is that he actually milled his widespread. So I know he has no legendary trap anymore. And now this is game. Because I just destroy his Transam Lineac with Dragon, Dragon and GG. So yeah, this was pretty good replay. Showcases a bit the strengths of Shield and Sword. So yeah. Next replay is against Seventh Road. Seventh Road, honestly, like from when I stopped playing Rush Duels, it was still a pretty good deck, and it is still as annoying as ever, but I don't hate it as much as I did. At the time I stopped, like, it was super good. And the skill is amazing. With the new cards, it's also still very good. So yeah, he uses the skill. I mean, look, our sets are always ass, but at least we have a lot of traps this time. Though not all of them are useful. And now that this is what I'm saying, that he tribute summoned, you insta compose. He just wasted 2 cards, and you're using only 1. And there's a high chance he won't have any normal. He ends his turn. Now he's gambling everything on me not having anything. And look, here again, this is a niche card, right? Board is empty. I won't ever use it. So normal summon, fire dragon, dragon's inferno, hit magical stream. But like it is what it is. I still have slime, and slime is good versus a 7th road because the fusions are level 8s. Not all of them, but some relevant ones are. Like this one is level 8. And yeah, here I think this guy must have forgotten that that the deck, if it dumps 2, it does piercing. Because here's just game. I mean, obviously, like if it had another shiny shady, it would be over. But yeah, oh yeah, and here again, here's what I said about the Grand Slam. 2600 still can go over. This guy still can go over. Galactica still can go over. The Seventh Road Magician. So yeah, it's still pretty good. And then the guy uses widespread, which is annoying, and gives him another turn. So then I use the Star Protector Guardian to and throw my vanilla away because Seventh Road can get pretty big pretty easily. And so obviously I take out my smaller monster. And yeah, honestly, like I don't know what this guy is trying to do. I don't understand anything about Seventh Road, but I guess he was trying to OTK me without using his big OTK monsters. So and in here I threw. I mean, not I threw, but uh, I could also have thought of piercing because he has no traps. So I know he has one trap. Sorry, but like I could have thought of piercing too. But okay, yeah. So yeah, if I had pierced, it would be pretty good. But yeah, with this, like the game was basically over anyway. And yeah, always think of your tradings, your discards to add. This is the strength of playing a 40 card deck. And sometimes you don't have the luxury to do that when you are playing a 30 card because then you're gonna brick with these. So yeah. The next one is, I think this is the bird one, the trap pigeon. I think that's what it's called. And honestly, this deck is pretty mid, but I respect it because like it's definitely a non-tiered deck, and anyone who's playing a non-tiered deck on the current meta is pretty based because holy, this meta is ass. So now here going first, I usually don't activate the stadium first because it also buffs the opponent's monsters, but yeah. And I set my secret order even though I usually like to keep it because it's too early in the game and I wanna I wanna I wanna draw 5 cards. So I got pretty lucky on his hit too here. And yeah, like I'm gonna use my secret order. I kept my home run because I was thinking like maybe I will tribute summon it. But then I got trading and I went greedy mode and well like kind of paid off because I drew like another trap. And then the guy had negated attack. Then I don't know why the guy put the guy on defense. Maybe it was a misclick. But yeah, then he summoned the pigeon, and then again, what I said. Tribute summon, always go evacuation. And then we forced his pot of avarice, which is pretty good. Yeah, then he removed my batters from the I mean my hitters from the graveyard. And yeah, then he went for the guy again and mill. The second one. And then I slimed because I was gonna take over 2K. And then I got pretty lucky. And then again, using Phoenix to draw, he has nothing in defense, so. Someone, now obviously high risk could be a trap. But then you have to be confident sometimes. And here, let me just highlight this. Right, like I still have one Dragonic Pressure here. So it's better to keep your dragon monsters on your hand because next turn it might be what you're gonna use. So that's why you summon usually if you want to add vanillas, add Zubaba batters if you want to use it for tribute fodder or to hit. And yeah, opponent's probably last opportunity. I use the trap so he can only attack with one monster and this will be pretty difficult for him. Because obviously he wants to annihilate my board. But then he normal summons and I make them really low. And so it's game. Now here, he uses the trap, but it's too late. Because I can simply pierce for game. It's not my biggest monster, so even if I know he has negate attack, but if it was widespread, he would still lose. See, I dumped both and GG. So yeah, here's a showcase that like how the traps are good. I never remember if I have a replay showcasing like shiny shady being used, but it's actually the trap that I like the least. And if oops, sorry. And if I was gonna take it out, I would put it in I would add another star protector because it is too broken. Now last duel, it's against Miss Playmaker. And it's a duel against Metarion. And I honestly thought I was gonna lose this duel, but it's still good to showcase because I think he made a misplay in the end. I think, not sure, but like this game is pretty good to showcase how like even on good games you might still lose because your deck goes out of steam. Also, a good thing to point out is that sometimes, for example, if the enemy is playing removal, sometimes you can, of course, like losing a heavy roller is kind of big, but also not that big. But sometimes it's okay if they trade it for yours because then they are not removing something super important too. So yeah. Now here he makes this dragon because he knows it's a dragon deck, but obviously he used it to flip so he can deal damage. And I was already pretty worried here. And I couldn't use slime before because it was a level 9. And yeah, here I just go for the average play. Oh yeah, this just reminded me. Doesn't have to do with this right now, but like sometimes you want to pay attention to the amount of monsters you have in your graveyard, because there has been plenty of games that I went like, okay, I'm only gonna send one because I want to do this play, and then I end up not having enough monsters to have Volcano, and this is usually only at the early game, like first turn, second turn. I mean, second turn usually or third. But and then I end up not having enough monsters to summon both because then I would have to shuffle Volcano Attack Dragon. So be careful with that. It's important. But yeah, here I just wipe his board, but I'm still very low HP. And Grand Slam is not that big, so that made me pretty worried. And his hand came really good, really good. I was like, there's no way that he would have exactly the monsters to make the big fusion. And he destroys my face down, which was bait. And I thought he was just gonna gain attack to win, to be honest. And then he does this. And since he doesn't have a monster in his hand, he can't win. And then I just Secret Order hit game. So yeah, I hope these replays helped you guys think and consider playing baseball because I really like this deck and honestly, like, it brings me a lot of joy. Yuka is really fun to play. Like, she's super excited about the cards, and I think characters, even though I've never watched any Yu-Gi-Oh anime, I think characters are like the most important thing to make you keep playing Duel Links and like stay motivated and stuff. So to summarize it, I think the strengths of this deck is that like it can make a big beater, which is Grand Slam, or in rare situations even home run. He can go big, and it is relevant. It is relevant. Like sometimes this can be your difference maker. It has really good draw power. It has good interaction with draw spells. I mean, I know Heavy Roller is like in archetype, but trading is really good. You can also play Secret Order, which is pretty good. And I would say the weakness is definitely like defensively, the deck is bad. Sometimes you don't draw what you want, and because you are forced to play a lot of big monsters. I mean, honestly, like if this wasn't Duel Links, you wouldn't be playing the Secret Order package. But it's because it's so convenient with the skill, you want to play it and risk getting bricked. Because the truth is that you probably could like trade these 5 cards for maybe like 2 captains. And I know like the brickiness remain because you would be trading 2 level 7 for 2 level 8. But you're reducing the overall brickness because you're taking out the secret order. But anyway, I would say that's definitely the weakness. It's super bricky. And even on 30 cards, because I was playing 30 cards, I would still brick with a lot of level 8s, a lot of spells. And sometimes you feel just fucked. And so yeah, and I know a lot of decks can do the same. Like a lot of decks can make big boards even more consistently. Like they don't have to do 2 3 bit monsters, but I feel like this deck is just super fun. And once you start drawing, like once you get trading, you get heavy roller, and you just start rolling. It's like, bro, it's like you're in the slots machine. You're like -1, -1, +2, -1, -1, +2, and it's just like, yeah, my deck, like your deck starts finning like crazy, bro. And it feels like you're playing 30 cards once everything hits perfectly. So I would say it has like a good like feud potential. Like that game that I summoned 2 Grand Slams was a perfect example of like, yeah, I can make excellent boards that you won't be able to wipe it or you won't be able to resist, but there are still a lot of risks. That's all. I hope this video was useful to you, and if you like baseball and you play it and you want to discuss about the deck, feel free to comment. I love this deck and I'm always open to more ideas. So yeah, that's all. Thank you and bye bye.